Hey guys, Probo 1701 here, and today we're going to talk about the 10th Doctor and the David Tennant era. And my question is, do you think the Tennant era is overrated? Not necessarily when it came out, but in 2021, do you think it's overrated in the fandom? And my answer to that's no. I actually think the Tennant era is remembered fondly for a good reason, rightfully so. I think it's a really strong era. I think it's easily the best era of the modern series. Although, to be fair, I tend to rope Eccleston's first series in with Tennant's era, and just as a whole, as the Russell T Davies era, the RTD era, since Eccleston really only had that one series, I tend to think of that era as just the Russell T Davies era, to be fair. But Tennant's seasons are very strong, and I do think that that is the most consistent era in the modern series, and the best era in the modern series. Because I think every other series in the modern series has been a mixed bag to one degree or another, whereas I think some of the Russell T Davies seasons have been pretty much almost without flaw. Really, the only mixed bag really is Series 2. Because Series 2 really has its highs and its lows. But for every Love and Monsters and every Fear Her and every New Earth, you also have a school reunion or a Tooth and Claw or the Cybermen two-parter or the two-part finale, Doomsday, that are really strong. The good episodes in that series tend to be really good, and the bad episodes in that series tend to be really bad. But to me, that's the only one that's a mixed bag, whereas the rest of Modern Who, under Moffat and Chibnall, that's pretty much every series they do, except 11, which is pretty much just trash. But the Russells era also has Series 1, which is nearly perfect and really good, even though that's an Eccleston series. But focusing on Tennant, you have Series 3, my personal favorite series of the modern series. I love Series 3. I don't think there's any bad stories in it. I think they're all good to one degree or another. I'm not saying they're all top-tier Doctor Who. I'm not saying they're all masterpieces, but they're all watchable, and I enjoy every single one of them. My least favorite would probably be 42. 42 is still a good story. I love the Shakespearean Code, and I love Gridlock. I love Lazarus Experiments, some dodgy CGI aside. I think all three of those are underrated stories. There's no bad stories in here. You have great script writing, great directing. Graham Harper does some of the episodes in this series. I love when Graham Harper directs Doctor Who. And then you have Series 4, a lot of people's favorite series. I think Series 4 is really strong as well. A lot of really good episodes. I think Tennant's really in his element here. He's good on all three seasons, but he's really got it perfected at this point, being the 10th Doctor. And it's got Donna in it. Donna's my favorite companion of the modern series. I love Donna. I love the interaction and the type of relationship the 10th Doctor and Donna have. And I think David Tennant and Catherine Tate have such good chemistry together that I really wish we'd gotten another series with them together, because they're just so good together. There are a couple episodes here I don't care for as much. It's not quite as perfect as Series 3 is. I don't really care for Midnight, as many of you know. It's just not my cup of tea. And I don't really like Turn Left either. I know it's a popular episode. It's great character development for Donna. But my issue with both of those episodes is I love the Doctor and Donna together, and Midnight and Turn Left both focus on just one and not the other, really. And so that's two episodes that we don't get to see the Doctor and Donna together with that fun dynamic I enjoy. And I would have much rather had other episodes with them together than those two episodes. That's probably my main point why I don't care for those stories. And I think the series finale is too big. I think it's really good, although not quite as good as some people think too, but I feel like one of the flaws of Russell's era is that each series finale had to be bigger than the previous one. You had the Series 1 one, so the Series 2 one had to be bigger than that. Series 3 one had to be bigger than that. Series 4 one had to be bigger than that. Series 5 one had to be, or I should say Series 5, but the specials had to be even bigger than that. It kept growing, so by Series 4, the stakes felt too much. It felt bloated and overdone, plus they brought back so many companions, and I think they pulled it off pretty well, but it's still a little much giving everybody stuff to do. I do like the companions. I love that they brought Sarah Jane back in Series 2, my favorite companion of all time, and I just love how well Elizabeth Sladen just slipped back into that role. I like Rose, but I prefer Rose more Series 1, Series 2. I don't know what happened with her character development. I don't hate her, I just don't care for her as much. The whole thing between her and 10, I didn't really mind at the time, but in looking back, it's kind of eye-rolling. Series 3, I really like Martha. I like Martha. She's such a great companion. She's very strong-willed, and I love how she doesn't really take a lot of crap from the Doctor. Series 3 is really good, except for the whole Ten trying to get over Rose thing. And then, I love Donna. Everybody loves Donna. I think Donna's amazing. The specials, I tend to like most of the specials. I actually really like Planet of the Dead. I know it's not really well thought of by a lot of people, but I really enjoy Planet of the Dead. I think, I can't remember her name, Michelle Ryan's character, and the 10th Doctor have such good chemistry together. I really, really enjoy the scenes they have together. And they have a nice little flirtatious nature together that I really enjoyed and would love to have seen more of. And I love Malcolm. It's got Malcolm in it. Malcolm's awesome. We keep getting Osgood back. Give me more Malcolm. I want to see another episode with Malcolm in it. He's such a fun character to watch. And then I enjoyed the story. I thought the story was actually really good. I like the end of time. I thought it was a really good send-off for 10. I like that they brought Sims Master back. I like him better here than I did in Series 3. And I really actually like the extended ending with Tennant. His kind of drawn-out ending when he's going back and visiting companions and stuff. I think his Doctor earned it. Most Doctors I wouldn't like that with, but I felt like the 10th Doctor earned it, so I really enjoy that. I like the next Doctor all the way up until the end with the Cyber King. I think the Cyber King is jumping the shark, but I like most of the story. I think it's really good. The Cyber King thing just kind of puts me off a little because it does seem jumping the shark. Waters of Mars is okay. I'm not as fond of it. I love the ending of it, especially with the Time Lord victorious Dark Tennant. I really enjoyed that. Tennant has such a good acting range. He's really good there at the end, but just overall, and I don't dislike the story. I've seen the story probably half a dozen times, so I've gone back and rewatched it a lot. It just doesn't quite grab me as much as most of Tennant's run. It's okay. And I've rewatched the Tennant era a lot. Let me be clear. There was like an 8-year period there from like 2006 to like 2014, 2015, where I watched the Tennant era a lot. Really, the Russell T. Davies era a lot, but especially the Tennant era a lot. I would constantly go back and rewatch these because that era is just so good. The writing is so good. The directing is so good. The dialogue is so good. These stories are Doctor Who. I felt like I was watching Doctor Who for the most part. So I went back, and I've seen most of Tennant's run, I'd say, at least half a dozen times. Not everything. Again, like Turn Left Midnight, Idiot's Lantern, Fear Her, stuff like that. Those are episodes I don't really care but go back and rewatch. But most of his run, especially Series 3, I've probably seen every episode of Series 3 half a dozen times. So I really like the Tennant era. I don't think it's overrated. I don't think it's underrated. It's usually pretty well regarded by the fandom. I think it's the best era of the modern series. One of the best eras in Doctor Who, period. I think I ranked it pretty high when I was ranking the eras. It was probably like, I think the Russell T. Davies era as a whole, I think I ranked like 3rd maybe, or 4th. It's probably 3rd. It's really, really strong. I really enjoy it. So what do you think of David Tennant's era as the Doctor, looking back on it? Do you think it's overrated, underrated, or, held right where the fandom should have it, which is usually pretty high, because it is high quality writing? And what do you think of, most everything involved with that era at that time? Comment down below and let me know what you think. I always enjoy hearing what your guys' opinions. I can't talk today. It's like 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm tired. But let me know what you think down in the comments below. I always love hearing from you guys. Other things to do: click the like button, click the subscribe button, click the bell for notifications so you never miss out on another video. I also have a Patreon if you would like to contribute to that. There is a link to that down in the description below. Many different tiers to choose from. Anyone who joins at any tier level gets a free video request if there's anything you would like me to talk about on the channel. Most importantly though, stay safe out there, and thank you for watching.